What's going on, YouTube? It's the one and only Knox. And listen, I have a very, very special guest on deck today. As you can see, Cashis Cream is in the building, the one and only. How's it going, man? How you doing today?
I'm good, Knox, man. Appreciate the introduction. What's poppin', my G?
Hell yeah, man. Listen. You have been helping to break some of the internet and sending people crazy over your diss tracks and all the shit you've been doing lately, man. So, round of applause to you. I'm glad we could sit down. I'm glad we can make this happen. But I thought we could just jump straight into it, man. No real lead-ins. Let's get into the meat of it, to the things that people want to hear. So, Benzino mentioned you on Rap Elvis, right? I think from that point in time, you got a couple options, don't you? You can either ignore it and just act like he doesn't exist.
Right.
Two, you can just respond in like a video, acknowledge it like some of the other artists did, right? And just like come back in that way, deny things, say whatever you want to say. Or three, the one that entertains the fans and that a lot of people want to see, obviously more for hip hop, is, you do what an MC does and you take it to wax. Can you just walk us through kind of that process of after you got notified, you heard the diss, going from there to, all right, I'm going to respond, I'm going to take it to wax. Just walk us through that period, man. What made you go, yeah, I'm going to do it this way?
Man, it was almost instant.
Yep.
When I first heard it, I thought it was funny because it's Femzino. Like, he can't really rap. So, and then once more and more people were telling me about it, I just knew I had to respond to that, So, my son actually watched one of your reactions.
Oh yeah?
And that right there inspired me to go ahead, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show him what's up. And I can't say it ain't just me, man. Me and you both. I think we would have tandem. We would have duo. I think we pushed him way off the internet for real, no doubt.
Shit, man. Yeah. Hey, first and foremost, that is dope that your son has watched my reactions, man. That is as a father myself, man, dad life right there. That made my day, man. Listen, I'm having like surrealist moments right now because fuck, man. I remember when the re-up dropped, right? And we're just cruising through PG and just like listening to shit. And then you come on. And that was my time, like first hearing you, man, and just bumping your shit. And now being able to sit here and do this right now, man, it's really dope. That's all I can say. But so you came up battle rapping, right? You're no stranger to this. You're no stranger to the friction and to the static. So is there a difference when you're making a diss track for someone like Benzino versus making like an original song? Like what's your process of creating a diss track really?
Well, with a diss track, I go and research the person.
Yeah.
And I figure about them, and I'm just directing insults and also letting them know I'm giving them, like, even with Femzino, I gave him a lane. If you really want to keep it going, I told him what not to speak on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so we can go back and forth. But that's all it is when I'm writing a regular song, it's more about my life experiences. I'm just drawing from everything that I've done. And when it's a diss track, I'm just zeroing in on my target. Like, in order for me to create a diss track, I have to hate the person in the moment. So I had to like I had to take in what he was saying and internalize that to something that I wouldn't that bothered me in my life before.
Yeah.
And then it made me on my target. Like, I don't hate Femzino as a person. Like, Raymond as a person is probably cool, but musically, nah, if you trying to use me as a stepping stone and to diss my big homie, I'm not. Like, that's like a double smack in the face. What am I supposed to do at that point? I wouldn't be the person who everyone knows that I am. I told them, if you keep talking to Squad, go call me. Like, I've told, and people generally don't keep playing. People mention M here and there, but they generally don't keep playing with him, and they don't mention my name ever. So for him to do that was just insane to me. But I wanted to show the fans something, and I want to show them that M don't even have to waste his time to worry about, dude. He can keep working on the album,
Yeah. I mean, I said it, I think, when I was breaking down your diss. It's a funny thing when you go at round one, isn't it? Because it's like you're hoping to get the dude to a round two. So you don't want to give like the full deck away, do you? You don't want to like play the full hand. Like you want to play enough to entice them and to bait them. So I'm just wondering, obviously we know that you responded right away. You moved quickly. Like, did you already have a second disc written and ready to go? Did you have like ideas ready to rock, or were you just like going to wait to see what he did and then move according to that? What was your thought there?
Like I held back on this one. That's why I said it's a jab.
Yeah.
I literally held back on that record because I didn't want to give everything I can. I got so much info that I could just drop on them. Yeah. You know, I think it's do that. I mean, but I got something for the Ghost Rider too. For real. Yeah. I got something crazy.
Yeah. So, you know, speaking on that, I mean, obviously, I think anyone who listens to rap seriously, anyone in hip hop, all you have to do is go listen to Ben Zeno's past tracks, and then you listen to this one, and all of a sudden the dude's pulling out, you know, crazy multi-syllable schemes. He's pulling out wordplay I've never heard him pull out before. So it, you know, it doesn't take a genius to go, something doesn't add up here with the math. Right. So speaking on ghostwriters in that situation, I saw that Cassidy dropped "Where the Bull At." Now, how do you take that track and what he said? Is that directed at you? Is that Cassidy coming out and kind of responding in a way to this situation? Where does that sit with you right now?
Honestly, I believe so.
Yeah.
He says he's not, and that's cool, but I honestly believe that that's exactly where he's going. And it just didn't go to where he wanted it to go, so he backtracked. But it doesn't matter, you know, the person I am, if you smack me or if you throw a rock in my house, you can't control what my reaction is going to be. You already did it. So just because you're saying it's not you, don't mean that I'm not going to respond to it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah, this is rap at the end of the day. You know, this is a contact sport. This is a competitive sport. So that's just the nature of the beast and the nature of the game, isn't it? So do you have I mean, I don't know if I'm making you give stuff away or anything, but do you have anything for Cassidy? Are you preparing for that, or where are we at with that?
Already, I got a bait, and then I got a knockout. But the bait is super strong.
Yeah.
And then since he said it's not him, maybe I'll just wait and see. But I think I might respond to "Where the Bull At" just because, you know, I don't know. I can't just leave it out there. You know, you can't just throw it out there and think that I'm not going to say nothing. And Cassidy come from the era where people were subliminal disses. That's how they were when they diss people. They did it subliminally. So, you know, and I respect Cass as an artist. Yeah. Like, I definitely respect artist. And I think it'll be a good measuring stick, per se, to test skill. You know, I want to put blade against blade because I think that some people may assume that if they haven't really followed my career, they may not know that I'm a real lyricist. Some people think I'm just a street rap artist and they have no clue what I can really do. And I would really like to surprise people, you know?
Yeah. I mean, look, not anyone gets signed to Shady Records. I'm just going to put that out there. You know, it's not, there's a different measuring stick. If you look at the roster that has been on Shady and you look at all the lyricists that have been on there, all I'm going to say is there's a reason why you were there. But I think what's really interesting and what a lot of people might not appreciate is kind of, you know, you do have that battling background too, which is, you know, so not only are you thinking, because you can attest to this, like being an artist and creating your own art, that's one type of lane. And like you said, it's one type of mentality versus when you're in a battle, that's another lane and that's another type of mentality. But you understand how to wear this shoe and you also understand how to wear this shoe too.
Yeah.
So as a hip hop fan, I would love to see you and Cassidy test themselves because I'm a Cassidy fan too, man. Like obviously being an East Coast dude myself, like Philly right down the road. I played my first show in Philly. I got a lot of love for, you know, the Roots, Black Thought coming out of Philly, Cassidy as well. So, you know, I would love to see that kind of test. So when can we expect something from you? Because it sounds like you're gearing up for it.
Yeah, I mean, it might be something soon. Like I said, I'm not gonna put out the full dishes, but I'm gonna put out a subliminal, I guess, like "Where the Bull At." It'll probably be coming out pretty soon, man. We might have to send it to you first.
Okay.
You know, so you out there, but it'll be something that's cool. But since Cass don't seem like he really trying to jump in, I'm gonna respect that because I respect Cassidy. And ain't nothing. But if we could hop in the battle, it would be dope. I think that it would raise my level of lyricism, it would raise his level of lyricism because you definitely couldn't half step with me. Yeah. And I know I couldn't, you know, but it's already out there. Yeah. I just feel like when you listen to the beginning of Where the Bull At and the hook and what he's saying in it, who else is he talking to? You know what I mean? Yeah. It just, I don't know, like.
Well, it's not so subliminal. Even like in the second verse, the kamikaze bar, like there's no real dancing around that one. You know, obviously a lot of the other lines you can make the argument like it's just generalized shit talking, but obviously if you know, then you know who the direction is at. And then I just feel like that right there was a not so subtle hint. Like we know where things are going and where they're heading with that. So I mean, exactly. I mean, like I pointed out with my breakdown, what I thought was interesting is, you know, and again, you can appreciate this in battle mode. Like if you have accusations against you and you're going to take it to wax and it's the first time people are hearing your opinion taken to wax, then why not just like dismiss it on wax? You know, why not just address it directly and get rid of it? It just seems a very interesting tactic to all of a sudden go super indirect with the way you're doing it. Like, why do that? I feel like that could make you look more guilty potentially.
It does to me too. It's just he could have easily just said, "Man, that ain't me. I ain't had nothing to do with that." And
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. And then there's nothing. It just seems like this is stirring more. I think we will see more come out from this situation. I think we'll see more come out after it. I mean, obviously, in regards to Ben Zeno, I guess one question for you is, before he name dropped you and before he brought you into this situation, have you ever had an interaction with Ben Zeno before?
Never in my life. Like never. Well, no. None of us over there at Shady ever took him like as a real threat. So that wasn't ever a person that was like, okay, if we out in the street and I see this person, okay, we're gonna have to do this or watch. Like it was nothing like that. Like he was cool, man. He like overkilled him. Like it was, you know what I mean? Like it was so lopsided that it was almost unfair. You know what I mean? So no one even looked at him like that. So that was out of left field for him to actually drop records. That was like, what is he doing? You know, so yeah, he wasn't one of the people that I ever concerned myself about, Benzino. And I know, well, Femzino, I know about him, you know, and I know about as a kid, you know, I got a lot of family from Boston, you know what I mean? So about the Almighty RSO days, I know about, you know, the different type of shit he been involved in, you know, and that's cool. So I have it's not like I look at him like, oh man, he a peon. I appreciate what he did as a Source magazine. That was growing up. I thought that was like really the hip hop vibe. One time I started noticing my art. What did I like? Never got 5 mics. Like like Pac, like Snoop. He did a lot of people that I really, really grew up to. That I got my styles and my information from, and he did them dirty. So that's when I noticed it was something different. But for his accolades and what he's done for hip hop and the Source Awards, that's some of the greatest. I used to love going and watching that at night. You know what I mean? That was the joint. So I ain't mad at none of that stuff, man. But if you already dissed, like if you already dissed the king, and he served you, what to his soldiers? Like you can't do nothing to them because in order for me to do with that means I'm already steps ahead of you. So that's I thought that Femzino was actually willing to play ball, and he was gonna raise his skill level up and really try. But all he wanted to do was go get drunk and cry. I don't know, man. That was crazy.
You know what? I was leading into that. I was going to ask you how you felt about that situation because I was honestly surprised too because I feel like he's been the villain for so long, right? Because we all know Eminem's fan base and the success that he's had. He's been the villain for such a long time. I just felt like, I mean, if you listen to the way he talks in some of his interviews, the one thing I will give him is that he's entertaining. You know, he does make for an entertaining watch. Like does he say some wild shit? Absolutely. But it's entertaining. Like you enjoy watching this guy. So I just thought that he's just going to embrace the role. He's going to lean into it and he's just going to keep going with it. It just felt like a complete 180 and a complete U-turn when nobody expected it. I mean, do you have any more information on why you think that happened, or are you just surprised by it as well?
I think, man, I think the songs that we did just smacked him up too much, and he realized that he can't do nothing. I really think that those records really got underneath his skin, and he realized that, man, if you're going to M, you got other dope artists that's coming at you still, and
Yeah.
he can't come back. It's impossible for him to battle all of us at one time.
Yeah.
And I think that he feels that people are bullying him, but he's the bully. And what's crazy is he's the bully who gets beat up. Like, it's like, okay, in all these rap battles, he's losing, but then he's picking on the person that beat him. It just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? I don't understand, but from watching that interview, I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Like, I felt bad for him. I felt he revealed way too much information about himself and his life. I thought he was trying to bait.
You know that liquor, man. Jay-Z, moment of clarity, as it's said. You know, maybe that was his big moment of clarity, but he was a few cups deep at that point in time.
Yeah, and then he just started telling. So now you want to hug him? Like, so at the end of the day, this is just because you're a fan, you're a Marshall fan, and because y'all didn't have the type of camaraderie in hip hop, this is what you all these years, and it's a better way of going about it.
Yeah,
like talking to unity and all that, I get it, I respect it. Like, for sure, we need unity. Everybody needs to stop killing each other. All that, I'm 100%.
100%. 100%.
But
That, like, you can't not support that message. That's a message I think any of us can get behind. I think, you know, my view of it, and I did a reaction to it, which will be dropping soon, but it was kind of like you sit back and you watch and you go, damn, I feel bad for the man. Like, I hope that he gets some help, and I hope that he finds some peace. And as a human, you can't help but look at that and another human suffering and go, shit, man, that sucks. Like, I don't want to see someone else go through that. But at the same time, it also doesn't take away from the actions that he's done in the past, you know, because actions do have consequences. It doesn't take away from the words that he said in the past and the things that he's done. Like you said, with the battle, I think he's learning in today's era of the internet and social media now, like, you're not just taking one person on sometimes. And I think his mistake obviously was name dropping you, giving you an open door, because you wouldn't have said anything. I don't think you would have been involved in this situation if you weren't brought into it. You were brought into it. For me, it's going after the reaction community, which is probably new to him on YouTube too, and he doesn't fully understand that game either. But it's like, why do that? Then you're creating enemies out of people you don't need to create enemies out of. And yes, it does become a sideshow after that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, it's it was wild to see that. But hey, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, the one thing I'll give him respect for and flowers for is I always respect when we can keep things to wax. So, you know, you don't want to see it spill out elsewhere, right? You want to see MCs go at each other on the mic and push each other. That's what you want to see at the end of the day. So you always want to keep it to wax. Speaking of that, why do you think that Eminem, after so long of a feud, decided to drop him into Doomsday too? Like why restoke that fire, do you think?
Because people don't hear the whispers behind the scenes and a certain thing Femzino says, and like drop little lines in here, and we hear everything. Everybody hears everything, and after a while, it's cool. And M just gave him a play. Him mentioning him made that man go on a promo run all the way to go up to Drink Champ. So, you know, he just showed him, gave him a lane to make a little bit of money, get a little bit of exposure. So he should be thanking him instead of being upset with him. Yeah. You know? For him after that. Before that, rather, no one was checking for him.
Yeah.
No songs anyway. You see they're on Spotify. I didn't even know he put them on Spotify, which is crazy. Like, but I think M gave him a pass. He gave him a pass, and Femzino, he fumbled the ball. He dropped the ball.
Yeah. Looping back to your disc, right? Because I always want to pay homage, and one thing I found dope was you shouting out Corrupt. And do you want to just talk a little bit more about his influence on you, and just shout out to the Dog Pound man, shout out to DPG and all that?
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to the dog, man, DPG and Big Snoop and Corrupt, man. Corrupt, bruh. As far as an artist and MC, Corrupt is everything. Like, that's like I remember being a shorty, memorizing Corrupt songs, and then getting to be 16 from the turn 17 and getting in the studio with Corrupt. And
Wow.
like, I'm just telling me, like, oh, you got it. Oh, you chopping heads off. Go get them. Like, who? And for years, like since that, I've been to Corrupt House, then been get the big mansion in the hills, all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Corrupt, it's hard to say that I idolize a person, but if you wanted to, from a lyrical standpoint, from what I do, because I'm a street dude. Like, I can't even pretend. You know what I mean? Like, I'm from where I'm from. I'm from Chicago. I'm from 78th and Langley. I'm 079. Forever. I've always been there.
Yep.
But I'm a lyricist. And Corrupt is both. Corrupt from Philly. Corrupt from the streets. And then he came to the streets of LA and became a part of one of the biggest movements of all time in California. Then he took it and was the assassin of Death Row. So Death Row, you had to be able to scrap. You had to be able to have a street mentality to even be over there. But he was the one that they would send up and just chop people's heads off. I would go and I would listen to Corrupt freestyle on the Wake Up Show for hours, dude. That's when I first heard him. You know what I mean? I would hear him. And I'm a shorty in school and I'm just listening. I stay up late just so I can hear, get Corrupt coming on. That's why I first heard Corrupt. I heard all them, but Corrupt, I knew it wasn't nothing written. I knew he wasn't going in there freestyling, you know, because you got written freestyles.
Yeah, that's which you get all the time nowadays. You know, almost every freestyle we hear nowadays is more so written than raw off the dome. You know, it's too complex to be raw off the dome.
Yeah, I don't really respect that as much. I appreciate it because it's good when I hear it, but you can't say you're a freestyle. Corrupt, you can sit this man in the room and say, okay, look, what's this? What's that on the ceiling? What's this? And he would make a whole song and go through all of that. Like, I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned to do. You know, like I was already in that lane, and he showed me that it was a master of that lane.
Yeah.
And I really went behind that lane, and that's really taken me through all the stages of my career where no matter what, you can put me on a song with anybody, and you know I'm gonna hold my own. Yeah. Like I've been crazy. I've been on songs with Marshall. I've been on songs with Fit. I've been on songs with Corrupt. I've been on songs with Freeway. Like, I've done my thing. Like,
Crooked Eye, one of my heroes as well, man.
Oh yeah, Crook, Royce, all of them. You know what I mean? I've been on songs. I'm a whole mind. I'm definitely not gonna be a weak link on there. And it's good to get that respect from the greatest lyricists that of all time to me. Like Razkaz said I was dope. Like, I don't think people get. Razkaz is one of the coldest MCs that ever existed, that ever walked the planet. Jordy when Razkaz said that. You know what I mean? So, like, Exhibit, like, man, everybody has said, like, bro, you got it, you know? And these are people that I look up to because I know they got it already. They've overproved it. So these are things that I hold near and dear to my heart when I think of hip hop. Like, hip hop for real saved my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was I was in shootouts. It was times on certain things, and I had to go to, you know, I've been in the studio and police then pulled up, and me being in there and saved me and kept me free. It's times where I've had to make decisions. I'm gonna go make this move, or I'm gonna go record this song as everybody waiting for me, and I made the right decision. You get what I'm saying? Like, make the studio. So it actually changed. Hip hop is the only thing that's been here before my kids.
Yeah.
Like, it's the only thing that my kids can say for certain that their dad, I know they say their dad is great at. You know, like, I'm great, but I try to keep them shielded. I don't even like people telling my children who I was in the past about, you know, street actions, and because I don't want to ever inspire them to even know that they have that inside of them. But when people, their dad is Cashis, man, he had this song. Did you hear this? And the excitement that they see, it furthers my love for hip hop, actually, when I see that. You know, like, when my sons watch like your reaction and No Life Shack reactions and Clip Beat reaction. They seen all this stuff and they like, Dad, the biggest people are talking about this song. I can't believe it. And I'm like, I'm playing it cool, like, it's your dad, people. But on the inside, I'm like, yes,
Let's go.
like,
You deserve it, man. Listen, and it's, to that, what's so funny though, is because obviously, they're your kids at the end of the day. They don't know what you did to get to that point and where you
right.
were at, right? So like they'll look at us and they'll go, oh, he's got like 1 million subscribers. Like I'm big in his world, but they don't realize that Dad has been much, much, much bigger than that. I find that hilarious, man. I find that funny.
Yeah, because they just see me as Dad, like.
Yeah, I get it. And in hip hop, that's a beautiful thing. Like for me, I've spoken on my situation. Like, so I'm from a heavy hip hop area. I grew up like one of 5 white kids at my school. Like hip hop was everywhere. And
right.
there was a lot of that. There was a lot of drugs. There was gangs. There was a lot of situations that could have distracted me. And for me,
right.
it was sports and it was music that kept me in line, that gave me opportunities and helped me to grow. And I owe everything in terms of my platform and where I am to hip hop. So I get that, man. It's a beautiful art form, and we are blessed to be able to be a part of it every day.
For sure. I agree about that, man. You remind me of my homeboy K Watt, man. He like one of the realest dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like he from Boston too, he from Massachusetts. He a white dude, that's my homie, but he like thugged out. You know what I'm saying? Like thugged out. He like y'all even like y'all dialects sound the same. That shit is dope. You know what I mean? And he just all about the bars and hip hop the same. That's like hip hop bridges the gaps everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From anyone that you can like it, and it could be someone in Istanbul, it could be someone in Iceland that connect with what you're saying. You don't even know that. You know what I mean? You would never even think that what you're saying here could spread everywhere like that. That's the power of hip hop.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about you and your journey, because I really do think it's incredible, right? I wanna touch a little bit on your time at Shady Records. So obviously you get signed, you get welcome to Shady, and the thing is, like, that's a piece of history at that time. Shady was probably the biggest record label doing it in hip hop. 50 was at his prime, right? D12 was doing their thing. G Unit was just killing it. M was killing it. Obi Trice was doing really well. You had so much talent on that roster, and it was just sales left and right. What was it like, that culture and that environment, getting to be a part of that and coming into that?
It was the greatest moment for me. It exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
Of what was about to happen. Because like I said, I had $1 million deal from SRC that I walked away from to go to Shady.
Wow.
And being in that environment with them made me know that I made the right decision. I was around greatness, like at their peaks, and I got to and perform with people at their peaks. You get what I'm saying? Like, that was amazing. That was amazing to me. There's not too many people that could say they walked in at those times. And I want to shout out Stat Quo too.
Stat Quo, shit, absolutely.
Barbie Creek would have probably, that was besides Marshall, that's probably the closest person on the label that I was to. Like Barbie Creekwood was my homeboy. You know what I mean? I was over there, Alchemist as DJ. I remember going up to the Alchemist house and recording and doing songs with Prodigy and doing all that. Like, wow. And to get the P, one of my favorite artists. Rest in peace, P. He one of my favorite. And for me to go and get that love from P and to do mad songs with him was crazy. You know what I mean?
What were some of those studio sessions like? Just working with those names. Like, I'm sure it was wild just to watch their creative process. Like, was there anything that surprised you or anything that you really took note of while you're in these sessions and working with these dudes?
Not really that surprised me, because honestly, when I'm in the studio, I'm just focused on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, I zone in and just zone out. I listen and more people come in there to check and see me like, man, you on 6 songs? Damn, you just did 9 songs? Like, they would come in there and be like, man, And they see me writing, and there's, I remember like, he don't need nothing. Just give him some Skittles, some water, and some trees. And that's all he takes. He don't eat food. He just eat the studio. And that's like, and when they just had beats, and he come from this one, I'm like, I need some more. He'd be like, man, go get them. Like, that shit was raw. And
then Skittles and water. That's all you need in studio. There you go, man.
Man, Skittles, the red pack of Skittles too. I ain't with all the cool, the new ones. Just give me the OG.
Nah, keep it simple. Keep it simple, man. That's always the best.
Again, a nice jug of water, and I'm winning, man, for sure.
Hell yeah. I think what's interesting too, is you didn't just work with some of these names in terms of features and artistry. You got to work with some amazing producers. Obviously, shout out to Alchemist. Shout out to some other great names, Dre as well. I mean, but you also work with Eminem as a producer. Like, you got Eminem to produce some of your stuff even after you left the label.
That's my boy. That's my guy forever. Yeah, M don't get enough credit for his production.
Yeah.
That shit be raw. And when you in the studio and you seeing, like, I ain't trying to get too much of the sauce out, but when you see, like, they playing the stuff and, like, the things that he does to get sound effects, blow your mind. Yeah. Like, everything is real. That's what I can say about in the studio with Marshall. Everything is real. He really tries to give the listener the biggest and best experience that you can have when you get that project. And I believe he learned that from the Doctor. He learned that from Dre. But Dre is the goat of all goats in anything with production, sonically sound. Dre is the goat of all goats.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, listen, man, I don't think you could put a price tag on having the opportunity to sit there and watch Dre work. I mean, one of the greatest producers of all time, for a reason, for a very good reason.
Who everybody think is my little brother because we look a lot alike. My little cousin, we go over there to Dre's studio. My little cousin, he go to sleep. He was a shorty, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was 18, 19, and he go to sleep. He out with big cuz. We out all night. We go in the studio. I got 3-day sessions booked, and I'm like, stay woke, you know what I mean? So he passed out in the studio. He don't even notice. Dre keep thinking it's me. Yeah. And like, hey, what up? Cash is going there and record. I'm sitting over in the corner just looking, laughing, because Dre don't even know that ain't me. And then it's Dre, E, you got Dre, M, you got Fifth, you got DOC in there, and my little brother wake up. He thought he died. My little cousin, he thought he died. That's what he said. He woke up, he said, I was in heaven. He's like, this is crazy. He's like, Dr. Dre is waking me up, and Eminem, 50 Cent, this is crazy. You know what I mean? And it's just like moments like that.
I mean, even the DOC in his own right, man. Wow, so many names that you've rubbed shoulders with.
DOC is a goat, bro. Like, my uncle, rest in peace. My uncle Pac always talk about rest in peace when he got killed alone, but that was his favorite rapper. He used to always tell me one. Like, so I was like a shorty, and then that made me grow up just listening to. So I bypassed like I don't know whatever the kiddie era that people listen to. I bypassed that because my uncle got killed at a young age, and then I just started following in his footsteps and started listening to the he was in. So I was listening to that, to Doc, fucking Poor Righteous Teachers, Beastie Boys, like all kinds of stuff. Like, I was just following what his train was. You know what I mean? Trying to get up. He was just real on lyricism. And it wasn't necessarily like gangbang rap. He wanted like, even though he was the ultimate street dude ever, he had like the legend in my city for sure. But he was really intelligent and really focused on them bars. And I think that's what kickstarted me into my career, because though I lived in a certain area and lived a certain lifestyle, you couldn't impress me with street rap or just that didn't feed my soul. I needed, like coming up, I love Common Sense. Like the artist. Common to me is one of the greatest rappers of all time. Like,
you want to talk about freestyle ability. You want to talk about just going in studio and just kicking it raw.
Like the Resurrection album, I know that every song back and forth. Like every song I know that, and I should just ride around. And I was a shorty doing real hood stuff, just listening to that, and they be like, man, you this is what you
You
listening
riding
to?
to this?
Yeah, I'm like, this is what I'm listening to, because something was always bigger than me in like in my environment.
It feeds it.
Like I
It feeds the soul. I really believe it, man. It is food for the soul. Like really good, pure hip hop and lyricism feeds the soul, man. And
yes, indeed.
I think too, like you cannot be a top tier lyricist and not be incredibly intelligent. It just
I
there's no way. You have to appreciate like some of the greatest lyricists of all time, and we've mentioned some names today. We've mentioned some names. You know, even the Corrupts. There's a reason why Until I Collapse, Eminem shouted out Corrupt on his top list. That's why Kendrick Lamar said that he's one of his top influences. You know, you cannot get to that level and not really have it up here.
oh yeah, Corrupt is that talent wise. Corrupt is in the ultimate elite class with the elite, the most elite MCs. Corrupt is that.
Yeah.
Like, and they all respect him.
Hmm.
Shout out to Tresh. That's my OG, man. I kicked it with Tresh a couple of times. He always gave me real game, and Tresh one of the coldest lyricists too.
Yeah.
You know, I think you got to give it up for the pioneers and the ones that came before us, because people forget how talented those guys really are.
I think I love to hear you say that because I do believe like one of the things that's our job as we come up as MCs is to carry on that torch, isn't it? And to keep that bridge connected and to keep showing respect for the pioneers who paved the lane and who built the way and who came before, man. So that's you're shouting out some amazing names. I know my fans are gonna love this. So speaking of, you know, coming away from Shady Records, and obviously, you know, what led to you leaving?
Um, I'm gonna be brutally honest, bro.
Go for it.
Yeah, I went through like I'm bipolar, right? I'm
Hmm.
super. People won't even know that because you don't know that. I would. I'm mostly under control, but I'll
Hmm.
say that when to the industry and you have, let's say you have traumas and different things that you probably haven't dealt with,
Yeah.
creates a whole nother animal. And
Yeah.
the reason why I asked to leave like for so long, and and kept, because I really was like, rap became in the background. Like when I
Right.
got on rap, the forefront. And then I started realizing the more I go places, a lot of people recognize me. And as you mentioned earlier, sometimes you can do something and later on somebody else could feel like they want to come back on it.
Yeah.
Like the you could be like cool and then you switch a 180 and you've changed, but that don't mean the people you've offended have changed. So I was embarking on my new journey as Cashis, this artist, and people were still approaching me as Two Tone G or as Ramon, the other guy, like the street guy. So I noticed like the more that I'm out going around these places, you get fan mail at that time and you were getting all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, and certain people are sending threats. So it made me behave differently and it made me readjust my circle. And it came to the point to where M had to give me vests and give me stuff because it was a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. Like, let's say even at a point, I took it so serious. It was, you remember when the G-Unit campaign was going on?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And this is facts. I used to really roll through spots and I catch somebody in it and and make them they had a shirt or or they had problems. And I was really like actively about certain things. There's certain rappers that have birthday parties and certain functions where they know where people like David Banner and DJ Paul and them had to calm me down and tell me
Mm.
like, bro, we know who you are. We respect you, but this is the industry, man. You got talent. You can make it. Like, it's certain things like that were happening to where I just felt like I didn't want the backlash for my actions to be falling back on my homeboy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this was in the mix. He was in the middle of mixing Loose Cannon. Like all
Yeah.
this I read rumors before, and now she just laughed. Like, what are y'all telling? Y'all have no clue. I had like a 20-something song project coming out that was paid for, and he's in the middle of mixing and mastering my album. Y'all have no clue of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Had already picked a single called High Speeds, was produced, and we was finna take it was, but I also had a real issue with like Xanax and stuff back then because I was like, escaping my lifestyle. So I brought that with me into the industry. And when I came into the industry, people would just feed it to you. Not Marshall, not nobody that's shady, but I mean, if you just out there, people go give you 100 bars. They go give you this. They go, doctors do anything for you once you got a knife. And I started just getting into more trouble and then catching cases and then more trouble. And I already had mad felonies, and it was just a lot going on. And then I'd be so peeled out that I forget radio station interviews. I forget things like that. I forget I got to go to a show or something happened and my homies calling me, and I really jumped back into furthering what I was on before, like, because I hadn't matured as a person. I was still in the juvenile state of mind.
Yeah.
So I've never told nobody that, but that's why I asked for so long. At the island, I still got taken care of for years. Like, that's why I was saying, like, I've never like left. It never was no beef. It never was like that. I ain't gonna put too much spin on it because I don't know how everybody else who was at the label in their situations were. You know what I mean? But all I know is my affinity and my love and my loyalty is deserved. And that's why I give it to them, from Tracy, Paul, and everybody at the label, Mark. Like, they forever have my loyalty because I know what folks did for me.
Wow.
And I know, so yeah. I left who I was, and I just knew that I thought I'd already lived past my allotted time that I was supposed to have, because everybody in my family died at 23. So I was just chasing a ghost to be a ghost. And
that's a hell of a statement. I think that's a great point, man. And thank you for sharing that with me. I mean, if you're not right here, and you're not right here, it doesn't matter the numbers that you're doing. It doesn't matter the fame that you have, all of that. You can't truly appreciate that if you're not in the right space. And, did you find that past trauma that you had been through in your life, all of a sudden you're in these new environments with all this attention, and it's like an oversaturation of information and shit hitting your brain all of a sudden. Like, did you find that triggered those past traumas in a way? Because I can only imagine, just everything happening to you, things change so drastically, and all of a sudden you're taking on board so much, but with it comes so much more hate, comes so much more people looking to start shit with you, to, it can just lead to all types of different triggers, and then it can just send you right back to your past and all the shit that you dealt with in your past.
Yeah, see, like, I have trust issues already, right? Like, because every family that's been killed, they've been killed by their partners, or they've been, or one of the people that we know be the ones that send a hit out on, or something like that, because other people can't get them, only the people close. So I'm a guarded person. That's why people don't know. But I get forced in the spotlight to where, like, I'm around strangers now. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not talking about M5th, and I'm talking about just when you do shows, you go to different city, you got handlers everywhere you go. These people picking you up, these people doing this. It was just, I'm not from that. I'm really like, I move different. And so in order for me to deal with that, it was like, what did I have to do? I cope more. I'm gonna drink more. I'm gonna do this more in order for me to be cool, because I don't want to react to people the way I would normally react, because this is a business, so I got to be a certain way. So I started trying to mask myself. Then the doctor's like, okay, check this out. You need to take this Zoloft. You need to take this other stuff. So you need to get yourself in order. At the same time, the homies, my girl, my cousin, everybody trying to stop me from coping with myself with, Zans and volumes. And like, when I was recording with Shady, the first time I had a bottle of 100 volumes. I brought them on a plane with me. You know what I'm saying? I took them in the studio within like 2 days. And that's when M was like, hell no.
Yeah.
Like, and he came to me like maybe like A month later, we were recording, and that's when he asked me if I wanted to get some help. And I was like, nah, I write my own raps. Nah, you know that. And then he started laughing. Like, nah, man. I'm talking about if you want to get, get some, some shit for detox and shit. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm like, where I'm from, that's looked at as weak, man. Like, whatever I got myself into, I'll get myself out of. I appreciate it, though. But now I look back, he was really trying. He saw something in me when he was going through a time in himself. And he me, like, the level that I was at was like, I shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing the most. And like that, so all of that stuff going on at the same time as performing, as I'm a person that's always been around my kids, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like, that's why I've been having kids since I was a kid, but I'm around them, I take care of them all, handle my business. So that took me, like, why I'm not around no more. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not a part of my normal family structure no more. Now, I got relationship issues already, you know what I'm saying, before this happened. And then the money really just messed everything up further as far as that go.
I can only imagine. I mean, it is true. More money, more problems. It's so true.
And now I got three, four houses. From here to there to there. I got, I was already having like 2 kids a year. Now you got 2, 3 kids sometimes. You know what I mean? So now I'm just really, like, it was just, I was creating issues within my own life. So, and that was bothering me because I know what it's like to grow up where your mama is the chief use, your mama's your daddy. You know what I'm saying? I know what that's like when you need your daddy to, well, that's why I respect my mama so much, because she held it down. She also understood I had to be me and let me make my mistakes and be a man. You know what I mean? So I felt as if I was letting my family down by me chasing my dream. It was just like a lot. I was beating myself up internally about, I couldn't even have fun. Like, I'm sitting there it's a dinner. My boy Young Jeezy, one of my favorite artists, Jay-Z, one of my, all these folks is up there. I let my homeboy Rick Noddy and them go. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay back up in there. I'm in the plush suite. Nah, I'm good. I ain't gonna go. I'm cool. I got my boy Reggie from Jordan, from like sending me the freshest mics. I'm laid everywhere I go. As far as like fresh, you know what I mean? Jewelry on every finger. 6 chains on, 2 straps on me everywhere I go. And there was no excitement. It's people cheering. And I just decided to stay up in the room. You know what I mean? Because I had no emotion. It was like, from the medication that they was giving, then what I was taking in, I literally had no emotion. So if I was crying on the inside, happy on the inside, you would see nothing. It was just stone. It was a stone wall. And that shit started really fucking with me mentally. And that actually, it like spiraled me into a whole nother place to where I just felt like I didn't want to do music. Like, it wasn't, I felt like I didn't deserve it. You know what I mean? That's what I kind of felt like. Like, fool, we growing up out here, what we was on, like, I'm supposed to be dead in the dirt with my homeboys. I'm supposed to be dead with my uncles and them. That's where I'm supposed to be. I ain't supposed to be able to enjoy this. Like, how am I here making all these beautiful babies, and I got beautiful, like a beautiful woman and girl, I got, it's girls everywhere. How am I enjoying this and none of my folks is here with me? Like,
there's a guilt. There's like a survivor's guilt almost, isn't there?
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that's what it is, survivor's guilt. And it just made me not appreciate myself. It made me not appreciate my gift. And then after a while, I was getting money to not record, which is crazy. They cared about me, paid me so I wouldn't record. They knew I wasn't recording, but they still gave me, you get what I'm saying? So like, people be dissing him, they have no clue how much he really rock with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have no clue how much fool really rock with people.
Yeah, that shows you're not just a figure. You're not just like generating money for them. It's more about something's not right with him, we need to take care of him. That's the first priority. We need to take care of who he is. And I respect that. And hey, man, like, you have plenty of examples, unfortunately, of people who feel like you do, but they don't pull that parachute cord because they don't have even necessarily that ability to step back. I mean, credit to you for stepping back because it seems like you're in a much better place now. I mean, you know, there's plenty of people who keep going and then they crash and burn. And then unfortunately you get like the juice worlds that happen and you get those situations too, which sucks.
Yeah, that almost happened one time, a couple of times. And that when it was this last one, I just told my homeboy, like, I'm cool. I'm gonna keep it cool, you know? Cause I used to take X, all that type of shit. You know what I mean? Like I was just really just out there. I ain't never did like no dope or coke or none of that weirdo shit. But you know, I was, yeah, like that ain't even nothing I'm glorifying. If you listen to the old raps, y'all can hear that though. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was on. But yeah, man, it's just like, and even getting off Xans, people don't know. Like I ain't getting no help to get off that. I just cold turkey and weaned myself down. I was having seizures.
Wow.
I was having.
Wow.
I was just having.
You took yourself off of it. Holy shit.
And I was like seizing up in the car and just passing out and just, but I ain't tell nobody. You know what I mean? Somebody finally saw it and was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it. I got this." Because I was in the middle of getting myself straight. And then, you know, bro, I used to take like 20 yellow bars a day. So I had to 20 to 15, 15 to 10, 10 to 5, 5 to 2, 2 to 1.
Wow.
Then 2 to a quarter. And then I still would feel it. You know what I'm saying? I still would feel it the whole time after that. But also when you're on Xans, it make you like, you don't care about whatever the evil is was inside of you, that shit go come out. Like it make you like brutal and it make you have no respect for people. So if someone's trying to do something and you don't want to hear it, you go extremely disrespect them, you know, and you go be willing to throw down and stand up and put your life on it. Like those are things that I feel like I don't need because I'm already a warrior. I'm already who I am then versus now. People can't even tell that because I'm still aggressive. I'm still me. I'm still cool and chill. My behavior, my mentality is it's just who I am. But the difference is I know how to trust people. I don't feel like everyone's out to get me.
That's important.
I'm okay. I'm not okay with it because you see, all the tattoos on me is pretty much of dead people. But I'm not okay with it. But I'm okay with the fact that I can still live and keep their names alive in a positive way, and I don't have to destroy my life in order to like not feel like I'm letting them down. Like some people you knew them, you was drinking. You know, when I knew them, I was drinking heavy. I was drinking, you know, as a shorty, but you know, you was drinking and you doing whatever. And then them people die, and I'm like, well, I was drinking Hennessy with the homie then, so I'm gonna always do it. And I'm gonna drink a fifth every day. Well, you can't live like that. No. You ain't gonna survive. No. And I just can be okay with what I did in those days with people and how the life I led then is not the life I lead now. And then I found out we shed every 10 years. We're a new person every decade. So why do I want to bring the same bullshit into the new chapter? I want to be fresh and be the best me so I can continue to be better as long as I'm here.
That's an amazing outlook to take nowadays, man. Do you have any regrets from then? Or do you feel like you've made peace with that time of your life and it's been a learning process?
I have a couple of regrets, but you can't really live your life with regrets.
No.
I'm just looking.
No, you can't.
And you know, it ain't over yet. Like
no,
it definitely ain't over yet. And I have a lot of music, a lot of good music, and I'm not trying to like overplay my hand, but even with the big homie, and even with Shady, it's not over. Like yeah.
So what can we expect from Cashis in the future? Because you've stayed consistent. I feel like in terms of some artists would just vanish and go away. I mean, you've still been putting out music. You've still been grinding. You've still been doing your thing. So where are we going from here, man? What's the future look like?
We going up now, man.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I've been putting out pretty much just mixtapes and just showing people that I still got my skill. And, you know, doing my shows and making a living. Like, you know, I made a good living independent for all this time too. It's not like it's a problem. But now I'm ready to step up and really show people what I was gonna show people before, as far as the dynamics of the album, and not just you know, I like songs like "Serenade My Life" and things like that are songs that hold value to me. I feel like what's missing for a while, people didn't value lyricism and realism in rap for a while. I felt like it kind of went away. So it wasn't the timing for me to be myself, because that's who I am. I can't do it. I can, and I've tried to do those things, but I can never release it, because if it's not authentic to me, it'll never come out. And I don't ever want to chase the mainstream. My homeboy Arcane used to say, "You catching the vapors. You don't want to catch the vapors of a radio MC." And I used to laugh so hard at that, you know, because I don't want to ever sell out. I
No,
want to just stay.
you make your own trends, and they'll catch up with you. You know, you focus on the art that is timeless, that can be played decades from now, that people can still appreciate, and you'll never go wrong. I've always believed that.
It's a legacy play. Like, I'm recording now, not even based on today. Like, the music that I want people to grow with it and understand it, even if I'm not around. Like, the same thing as like with Pac. You know, like I said, Pac raised me. What would Pac do? You can ask anybody that knew me, they were like, this boy would say, Pac wouldn't sit there and cower, so I ain't go cower. And I stood on business. And I want people to take lessons that I've had to go through and experience I've had to go through and learn from them in the music that I release, and be able to grow. And it could be millions of people, it could be whoever, but I know that people go hear it, then the right people, the right person that's gonna hear it is gonna reflect, and it's gonna touch their life, it's gonna touch their soul. Because it's people that live like me everywhere. It's people that live like you everywhere. We just gotta give them the realness. So you go see a lot of real shit. I've been working on a couple of movies. I think we said we just about to sign this book deal, so I'm gonna do something like that. And just a stream of albums. I'm gonna actually give people my debut album. I've never done that. I've just done mixtapes, because my debut album was supposed to be Loose Cannon. So I was like, you know, I'll just do mixtapes. So I'm about to give my debut album, and I ain't gonna say too much, but it's looking like it's gonna be a much bigger situation than people realize. And I think people gonna be happy to see where it lands at home. That's what I'm gonna say.
Hell yeah. I'm excited to hear it. I'm excited to hear it. Listen, Cashis, thank you so much for your time, for your thoughts, for your stories, man. This hour has just flown by. I really appreciate you taking time to talk to me, man.
I appreciate you too, Knox, for real, man. Hey, we gotta get a record too.
I
You
got
know,
you.
any record. It could be, but we could just do a dope record, because you got bars. That song that you put at the beginning of your show like a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
that shit
Appreciate
was
that.
raw.
Hell yeah, man.
No doubt.
That's highest of compliments coming from you. Hell yeah. We can make something happen. We can make something
Good
happen.
stuff.
Hell yeah. Cashis, thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man.